In this tragic episode of Hoarders, we meet Justin.
Hey, I'm Justin.
Justin has a toxic addiction that controls his entire existence.
I collect Steven Seagal stuff. It's not that big of a deal.
This compulsive hoarder is in denial, shambling through his waking nightmare.
These are my Steven Seagal action figures.
Look at all this worthless, embarrassing garbage. And I don't mean Steven Seagal.
But first, a message from our sponsor.
My fellow Americans. My fellow Americans. My Dello Fellicus.
Hey, Tony, why do you consider yourself dressed up today?
Well, Justin, I have decided to run for president this coming election.
Oh, Tony, even though you're aging horribly and look like you're well into your 40s, you're actually about 30 years old, which is too young to run for president.
Darn! I just want to be in a position of power where I can tell people what to do and who to attack.
Ah, you want to be king of the county. You should play Hustle Castle instead. You too can become Lord of the Manor in this awesome simulator for iOS and Android. You can manage resources, inhabitants, and buildings, expand your castle, attack fortresses of other players, defeat their troops, and take resources away to upgrade your castle.
I love the look of the game. It reminds me of shows like American Dad, The Cleveland Show, and that other one. It's hilarious that the characters have their own social networks where they send messages to each other. Look, you got the princess complaining about being kidnapped, and the main bad guy smack-talking this dude Donald. Yeah, take that, orcs. You can't stop me. I should probably check on the kitchen in my castle. What is going on here? Become master of your domain and download Hustle Castle via our links below. Enter your nickname to get a special bonus for new players, 250 diamonds and 3,500 gold.
Action! Focus! Honor! It's martial arts! Today's video, Under Siege!
Alright, so today we're talking Under Siege. First, I'm going to talk about my bonus pick of the week, which is actually a collection of VHS tapes from the late 90s called the Wu-Tang Collection. So yeah, this was basically a repackaging of a whole bunch of old martial arts films. So yeah, in the 70s, the Shaw Brothers was the big name in martial arts movies. I mean, they made like 800 films, something like that. 36 Chamber Shaolin, Clan of the White Lotus, 5 Deadly Venoms, 5 Elements Ninja, 8 Diagram Pulp Fighter. The list just goes on and on and on. And I don't even know how many of these tapes exist because it seems like there must have been hundreds. And they basically changed the titles on these, I think to appeal to hip-hop fans, because I think that this was basically meant to cash in on the success of the Wu-Tang Clan. Yeah,
Old Dirty Kung Fu.
36 Chamber.
It's like Old Dirty Bastard. You got the Liquid Sword. You got the Killer Bees.
Tiger So on it too, by the way.
Oh
Yeah, all this stuff was, they changed the titles of them. I don't know if the Wu-Tang Clan actually released it themselves or if someone else did.
I think they were involved in that.
Yeah, like I think actually like some of them did, but I think like REREZ like bought up rights.
Oh, okay, it's like a catalog of films.
And I mean, actually too, he, I believe, I don't know if he did the entire score, but he did the score for like most of the music for
Kill Bill.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. That one song when like Oren Ishii and the Crazy Idiots are walking in, that song was him, and that ended up becoming huge. Yeah,
it's awesome. There's a video of RZA on YouTube talking about films that they sampled for their albums, and there's this quote that he said that was really cool, where like he's talking about how the weapon in the movies is the sword, but in their music the weapon is the words. So he says like the tongue is like a sword, like we're gonna cut you down with our lyrics. I just thought that was cool.
I recommend Shaolin Style for the PlayStation 1. That's the Wu-Tang video game, and I actually
you just have that laying there?
Yeah, the controller. No, I brought them out because I figured, we talk about fighting stuff.
I didn't know they made that.
Yeah, it was an English release only for it came with the game.
Oh wow!
Which I think, but
and it's awful.
It's awful.
It's a horrible.
Yeah, I wouldn't use it.
It just feels bad.
You're better off just wearing it around your neck, Oh, and don't forget, guys, today is my birthday, so that's why I kind of wanted to do some Seagal stuff, because when else will I have a chance?
It was the final voyage of America's mightiest battleship. Imagine this arsenal of tactical nuclear weapons falling into the wrong hands. But there's just one thing they didn't count on. The cook. Under Siege.
All right, Under Siege. Now, I have a major problem with this movie. I enjoyed it. I actually had a fun time with it, but I have a very big problem because this is martial arts, you know, martial arts.
March, yeah.
Yeah. And where's the martial arts in this movie? Where the fuck is the martial arts?
Right, it's more like Die Hard on a boat.
Yeah.
It's not really a martial arts movie, so sorry about that. I just needed an excuse to talk about Steven Seagal, I'm sorry.
There's gunplay, there's knives, but very little hand-to-hand, like almost none. 12 minutes, he gets into a brief fight with the officers. I mean, maybe 2 or 3 punches are thrown. Yeah. That's when he hits Gary Busey and they lock him in the cooler and all that stuff happens. So then 1 hour in, there's some more gunplay. It's a good explosion, but then an hour 10 minutes, got more gunplay. Hour 14 minutes, he stabs people with knives. Hour 34, he flips a guy. Wow, he flips a guy in the middle of another gun scene. And then at the end, he fights Tommy Lee Jones with a knife. It's a knife fight.
Right.
And there's no hand-to-hand. So...
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, I'm not sure if everyone would ever say Steven Seagal is actually a martial artist. Steven Seagal is a crazy person. Yes, I've collected many Steven Seagal items, mostly out of irony, with a friend in like college and stuff. I was like, you have the most Seagal movies, well, I'm going to get the most Seagal shit. Yeah, also, to tie me a little more to Steven Seagal, in college, I did this video just for fun where I actually review the energy drink in kind of like a taste test challenge. And I dressed up as Steven Seagal, and I had the ponytail at the time and all this stuff. And we did like the neck breaking and, the shooting the guys, and I blocked the bullets with the can, and, I dragged the guy across the desk, and we blow up, and it's like a whole thing. There's some pretty, solid moments in it. Yeah, so basically Steven Seagal is a crazy person, and let me explain how. He's a guitar collecting, carrot eating, direct-to-video making, police deputying, stunt actor fighting, blues singing, SNES canceling, Will Sasso hating, human trafficking, Aikido mastering, Expendables avoiding, Russian oligarch sniffing, 3-time divorcing, Celebrity Guide to Wine drinking, 7-kid having, Security Exchange Commission dodging, sexual harassing, banned from SNL hosting, weirdly running, Asian and Native American pretending, machete dying, pseudo-spiritual slinging, energy drink making son of a bitch. And I say energy drink making at the end because he had 2 energy drinks come out in 2005. His flavors are Asian Experience and Cherry Charge. And gentlemen, by the end of this episode, I will drink a Cherry Charge Lightning Bolt energy elixir because I've never had one before, but these are unopened.
They look pretty old.
Yeah, well, they're from 2000. They're 15 years old.
There's like dust on them and stuff.
They've been sitting on the shelf. Well, I used to have all this stuff in my place, and it was the wall of Seagal. But now they're here, and I'm gonna drink that cherry one, I guess. And if I die, then I'll die like Tony did in the Kumite.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guess you want to talk Under Siege, which I guess is his best movie. Some people would say that. It's his 5th movie. He did Above the Law, Out for Justice, Marked for Death, Hard to Kill, and that kind of got to the point where they trusted him with this. But he's probably the worst part of this movie.
Well, I think they kind of, he's not really in the movie as much as like Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey is.
Yeah.
So I feel like they kind of played to his strengths of like, they're like, look, man, you can't fucking act, but...
They're the villains, so Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey, they play like pretty good villains in this movie. They're really the whole show.
I recommend that he be given a psychological evaluation before taking over his next assignment. God. Do I look like I need a psychological evaluation?
Not at all.
I mean, Gary Busey in this, who's the XO, the commanding officer of the ship, the second in command, and then you have the CIA. You find out he's a CIA agent, Tommy Lee Jones.
Yeah, he was a burned one. Like
Gary Busey kind of plays his role in almost like Predator 2, where he's like a bad guy, but
Yeah.
And I guess Tommy Lee Jones is Two-Face in this, but not as good.
See, the thing is, I think he would have been a better Two-Face if he acted in Batman Forever the way he did in this. But I think in Batman Forever, he was trying to keep up with Jim Carrey, and it's like, he should have been more of a serious villain and Jim Carrey be the zany villain, but they tried to make them both kind of zany. And Tommy Lee Jones, in this, like, he's menacing. He's definitely, like, chaotic, but he's not over the top, really, I think. I think, you know, he plays the crazy CIA guy pretty well.
First, he's like pretending to just be like a rock star, like he's going to play on the ship. But then his shit starts going down, and after that, he keeps the get up where he has like a combination of like there's the biker look, but also like the hippie look. He's got like a tie-dye shirt with like a leather jacket over it, and I don't know. Then he's just going nuts like all the time, and I don't know. It's interesting though. He looks like Keith Richards a lot in this movie.
Yeah. Well, as we said, pretty much there's almost shot for shot things they ripped from Die Hard, like when he comes off the side of the ship.
Oh yeah, when he blows up the helicopter.
It's like when the helicopter blows up in Die Hard.
Yeah, and he jumps off the side with the hose, but in this he just grabs a chain and jumps up. It's exactly the same.
I mean, the whole plot, they hijack this battleship, and then
it's carrying nuclear Tomahawk missiles.
And then a guy in a sleeveless shirt has to save the day.
Yeah, so it's basically Die Hard
and
on...
Miss July 1989.
Yeah, the Playgirl.
That was my first reaction. I was like, okay, well, I guess I'm going to note that this reminds me a lot of Die Hard, and his character's like John McClane. First thing I look up on Under Siege, it's like, oh, it's Die Hard on a boat, Die Hard on a boat.
And if you'd like to see Die Hard on a submarine, you can watch Steven Seagal in 2005 Submerged, which is terrible. Terror has been launched undersea. That's your tagline. Oh, sorry. He found the enemy on the wrong side.
That's the tagline?
Yeah, it's terrible.
He found the enemy on the wrong side?
This is his last VHS tape before they went direct to DVD.
Is there like a clever, like, word thing going on there? Or is it just stating a fact? Like, that's pretty... The stupid tagline is just...
Watch out, you knocked over...
he found the enemy on the wrong side.
You knocked over Steven Seagal's audio album, Songs from the Crystal Cave.
Which, these are horrible. His band is terrible.
And that's his second CD, Mojo
if
Priest.
Steven Seagal like watches this and wants to fucking fight me or something, I'm sorry, dude, but you're shit. You're kind of shit, dude.
So I wonder. I have a question about this movie because all right. So whenever I watch anything, usually I search on streaming platforms to just see, okay, what is it on, and is there a free option, and which I think is probably what most people would do. If there's a free option, you'll watch the free one, right? Well, on cable, on demand, there it was for free. So I just, queued it up, and then halfway through the movie, I'm like, it's kind of weird that it keeps fading to black for like a commercial break every now and then. But there's no commercials, but it would just randomly fade to black, like that's where a commercial's supposed to be. And then I'd see him say something like "bolt." And I'm like, fuck, like they're
TV edit?
And I realized it's the AMC, because then I saw the logo on the bottom, like, oh, AMC. So you'll get a movie on demand for free, but it'll fetch it from like a cable network that has a censored version of it.
What the hell?
My question is, what did I miss?
Not
Anything
much.
good?
Boobs.
There were some boobs.
Was there?
Some kills, yeah.
Yeah, probably some more violent kills, like the dude getting impaled by the fucking girder.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Tommy Lee Jones' death in the end, he gets...
AMC sucks.
Yeah, I mean...
Like, they do Fear Fest, but they censor every horror movie. What are you going to...
I never understood watching, like, horror movies on basic cable, because it's like, they censor everything.
And stretch it out with commercials and everything.
And what's it called? Used to that G4? They used to show RoboCop, but they would cut, like, 40 minutes of the movie out, because you can't show the boardroom scene. You can't show every gore scene, and it's like, why even watch it?
Yeah. Who is planning to watch like the censored version of a horror movie? Because you're either going full horror, you're either going to watch it, or you're going to watch something that's PG. You're like, you don't really like. What is this middle ground audience that they're trying to?
Well, which is funny first off, you should have asked me, because I have Under Siege on VHS, DVD, Blu-ray, HD DVD, Laserdisc, and Japanese Laserdisc, which is an awesome actually set they have here. So
I love the cover for that.
HD DVD.
And which is funny because of the nudity in this movie, which I think is it's the first time I remember watching nudity ever.
I think
like I was like 8 years old.
Where does the nudity happen? Is
it's when she pops out of the cake.
That's what I figured.
Yeah, the girl pops out of the cake. She was on Baywatch, and she was like a Playgirl. And Kieran was telling me basically like when this movie got returned to video stores, people would stop it so often.
I read something about it where they people would stop and rewind this part so much that when tapes were rented, they would get to that part and it would fuzz all up because that part was completely worn out.
It's just funny to think how many other people handled that same tape.
Yeah,
and
right.
where it's been.
And we're like, ugh, like just to watch one, it's not even a minute. It's like probably 10 seconds long or something like that. Like,
yeah. Because in the one I saw, it shows like she jumps out of the cake and you see.
Oh no, there's a whole like nudity part.
She spins around, her boobs are out. There's some 90s fakes.
So what's going on anyway? Like they drugged her up or something?
So he said he was giving her like motion sick medicine,
and she falls asleep from it.
She passed out. I guess it's just because they were going to take over the ship, so they're like.
I guess basically what happens is they're on the start from the beginning. They're on the USS Missouri, which is a real ship. It fought in World War II, Korea, Gulf War. It was actually the ship that the Japanese surrendered on in World War II to Douglas MacArthur. And basically, it's going into decommissioning, but it's still updated, so it has like nuclear tomahawks before they got rid of those. With the start. A smarter start axe or whatever with Russia and all that stuff. So they're bringing it to Hawaii to decommission it, and pretty much because they have a skeleton crew, Gary Busey's character, the second in command, and Tommy Lee Jones take it over.
Yeah.
And their goal is to sell the nuclear weapons on there to like other countries to make money.
Yeah. And
sneak them off on a submarine that they also stole from North Korea. Which is much like Die Hard, where in Die Hard, because then I guess they blow up the ship and get away. Because like in Die Hard, they want the FBI to come so they can sneak away in the ambulance and say, oops, they all died because they blew up the building and the helicopters and stuff. So it's totally Die Hard. But then you have scenes like they're bringing the Playgirl on the boat for the captain's birthday, and all these scenes with the cook, which is Steven Seagal, and he's Cajun for some reason because Steven Seagal likes pretending to be not from Lansing, Michigan.
I hate the way he talks sometimes. Like it's just so
from the bayou.
Annoying and
he talks like he
does.
does.
He changes accents, doesn't he?
Yeah, all the time. It's awful.
Yeah, he talks like he does in Steven Seagal's Lawman.
Yeah,
this is the bulletproof vest DVD case, by the way.
I used to watch Lawman.
There's a DVD in there.
Like I used to watch that like religiously because it's fucking hilarious.
That's in case anybody shoots the DVD.
Yeah, right?
They should.
I don't know if you've ever seen this, but it's like Cops, but if Cops was like run by idiots.
If Steven Seagal had mind powers.
Yeah, he has like crime vision where like he's like, hold on a second, brother. And then he like all of a sudden it zooms in on some like house and he's like, I think there's something going on over there. Let's go. And then he's like arresting people. And it's always something dumb, like a guy's drunk and he hit his son or something. And then Steven Seagal's like, you can't be doing that, brother. You gotta be good to your family, brother.
Yeah.
And it's just like, dude, shut up. Like, you're not a fucking cop, man. Like, I hate him sometimes. I just fucking hate him.
Oh my God. I told you, he's terrible.
It pisses me off. But I like Under Siege, but I just, I hate
What's
him.
funny is we were talking about how Hideo Kojima from the Metal Gear series, we think this movie heavily inspired that.
Metal Gear 2,
Because it feels like Metal Gear 2, but the ship in Metal Gear 4, that what's her name is the captain of, that's the USS Missouri.
Oh, is it?
It's the same ship.
Oh, okay.
And the reason why that ship's
Where GW is?
That ship's so important in that game is because it has no tech on it.
Okay.
Where in this movie it has all the tech, so that's interesting.
But that's the thing, like, I mean, in Metal Gear, the beginning is it's a ship with a skeleton crew that gets taken over by...
Well, that's Metal Gear 2.
What's his name? Gurlukovich. And everything. But so it does feel
this
very
movie
similar.
Inspired a lot, at least Metal Gear. So anyway, they lock Seagal, the cook, in a meat locker, and he eventually fights his way out and fights through the ship and saves the day.
Yeah. And I'm going to just mention, I think the worst part of this entire movie is at the very end when they're all hanging out on the boat and the one guy's like, hey, Casey, show me your moves. And he's like, okay, well, how about this move? And he grabs a girl and kisses her. It's the cringiest thing I've ever seen. It's just so fucking uncomfortable. He does it in front of all those dudes, and it's just like...
Seagal's kind of known for that.
It's just, like... He's such a creep, and I can't, like, get my visual of him nowadays. Like, back in the 90s, I remember this movie was huge, and, Steven Seagal was a badass. I always kind of felt like he was, like, definitely the lowest tier of the action hierarchy. Like, if you put, like, Stallone and Schwarzenegger, he's, like down there.
He's under Bruce Willis.
Yeah, I would say
he's under Van
Damme, all of those. But it's, like, now to watch it and be like, dude, what happened to you? Like, this movie, I mean, he was in there with, you have Tommy Lee Jones and Gary Busey, who they were huge all throughout the 90s. I mean, Gary Busey got a little bit wacky too, but yeah. But I mean, this movie, I've seen like On Deadly Ground and stuff like that, and like all of his movies just they shot up and then they just tanked after and slowly declined to the point where now it's just like, I mean, his band, his law show, it's just he's just
now he's in lawsuits.
Yeah.
See, I was never a big Seagal guy, but I just wanted to get schooled on him and hear, like, what was I missing? And all I'm hearing
nothing.
is that he's
there's
shit.
nothing. It's,
There's a few, when I was in college, we used to watch a ton of Seagal movies as, like, that's just, like, the funny thing to watch. Mm-hmm. So we'd be working on, like, 3D animation stuff, and we'd put on, like, Into the Sun, where he's, like, a Japanese samurai guy, or some of these other ones, like Urban Justice, which has a few people in it. That's actually not too bad for him, but he just has so many movies now. Or there's one with Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Oh yeah.
He won't do Expendable movies. Oh, he was the bad guy in Machete.
Why wouldn't he do the Expendables?
He said there's people involved in that project that I just don't like, so I'm not going to do it. He hates Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Oh, okay.
Which sounds like Marlon Brando.
Which stems from Jean-Claude Van Damme being in more movies and being picked. He's also really mad that Jean-Claude Van Damme was on the cover of Playgirl and he wasn't.
I mean, but Jean-Claude Van Damme,
I have right here. Because the only reason I have this is because for the Seagal collection, there's a whole like spread on him, and he's pissed that he was like backpaged. And
really, in it, like he even says in the magazine, he says.
No, it says all this stuff about like.
Harry Connick Jr. Why? What? Like Steven Seagal, Harry Connick Jr.
Yeah, it's Steven Seagal, Harry Connick Jr., John Spencer, Mario Van Peebles, and Patrick Swayze are their picks for like the hottest guys of whatever. Oh, the top 10 sexiest men of 1991. So Seagal was number 10, 9, 8. He was number 7.
He made the list, I guess.
Well, I mean, how can you compete with?
Steven Seagal starts off in the beginning of the movie looking pretty cool, but by the end of it, he looks like he gained 15 pounds.
He probably did.
Like, seriously, there's a part where, like, he's sitting down, and he looks, like, chunkier. And, and
it's weird because he's a cook that's also an ex-Navy SEAL Special Forces.
Yeah, because he punched his officer in the face.
Yeah, so he's just riding out his 20-year service or whatever.
It's just... Honestly, Steven Seagal, man, I just can't take him seriously sometimes. The rest of this movie's fine.
Yeah, I mean, I enjoyed the movie. I had a fun time, but I enjoyed it in a type of like in the Con Air sort of way.
Yeah, that's actually really Con Air. I can
Nicolas
see.
Cage in this movie instead.
I could see Nicolas Cage as Casey Ryback better than
Casey Ryback.
All right, anything left? I mean, that's my opinion.
That's pretty much it.
Yeah. All right. Did you mention the Wall of Seagal, or did you get it?
Yeah.
Okay.
And
are you doing the drink?
I think so.
All right. So all we got left is you take that drink, and I tell them the theme for next month.
Yeah. I want to explain that Steven Seagal, on the back of the can, it says that Steven Seagal walked through the mountains of Tibet and collected all these things. He collected... Tibet, yeah. He collected goji berries, guarana, cordyceps, which are mushrooms.
Yeah, that's
B vitamins and ginseng, which is actually impressive because no one was really talking about goji berry or any kind of the stuff back in 2005.
Yeah.
That was kind of like a Whole Foods 2010 health thing. But anyway...
We drink it out of this Rolling Rock glass with my name on it.
Oh, perfect.
Yes, thank you very much.
So they know who killed me. All right, so let's try this out. I'm a little worried about the noise it makes when it opens.
I think it's funny that the one is called Asian Experience.
Right, and I just think it's funny because Asian Experience, then Cherry Charge, and then just root beer. But they never made root beer. It failed miserably. It was a mess.
In fact, it's so good, he likes swimming in it.
How's it going, baby?
Boss, I've got another 2,000 cans to go to fill this pool.
Man, I feel so sorry for you, but you know what? I really wanted to swim in Steven Seagal's lightning bolt with you.
Yeah, but you know I love doing it, because I love you.
I love you too, baby.
Okay, now that we did that, let's start doing this. All right, let me get it close to my mic.
It pissed. Maybe it's still like carbonated.
Smell that?
Oh my god, that smells really weird. Oh my god, that looks like beer.
That looks like a fucking beer.
Is it like fermented?
Do you want to smell?
Yeah.
It doesn't smell like what it should smell like. Dude, I think it's fermented. It's foaming like a beer. I think you're gonna get drunk.
So I don't drink energy drinks much. They don't foam up. Is that what
they do? But
well,
they don't
not
foam
like
up all
that.
thick like
This looks
that.
like a beer.
Yeah, it looks like a straight up beer.
You know, let's.
it fermented?
It looks like you're pouring a lager right now. I don't know if that was the original color, but
it does look like a fucking beer. Oh my. All right, ready? Fucking. This is for you, Seagal, I guess.
Are you blind?
It tastes like it's wine. It tastes like fruit wine. It fucking fermented in the wine.
Wow.
It's not bad. You want to give it a shot?
Yeah, I'll take a sip.
We'll die together. Ride together, die together, just like
Oh
Wu-Tang.
my god, it smells so weird. It smells like juicy juice.
Yes, it's fruity. Oh, hey, Tony.
Hey, what's going on?
You want some of this?
Oh, what is it?
I don't know. It's a beer.
Oh, okay. I love beer.
Oh, you took a big sip of that.
That doesn't taste like beer.
It's
that
more.
Tastes pretty awful.
It's Fabuloso cleaning fluid.
Oof.
Oh, okay. I'm gonna go die.
Is it as bad as it seems?
No, it's not that bad.
It's all right.
I mean, it really isn't. For 15-year-old energy drink.
I was worried that when I opened it, it wouldn't go. I was worried it was going to be like, and there'd be like bacteria in it, but I think it was. I mean, I've kept this thing on like a shelf and like not in heat and cold for years, so I don't think it's bad. I think it just doesn't.
I think it's just been sitting there.
Yeah, I think the sell by date's just like so it tastes properly.
You ever watch that dude on YouTube that eats old ass MREs from like the 40s and stuff?
Yeah.
He eats he'll eat whatever's in there as long as it's not completely rotten.
You got another glass?
Why, you want to do the Asian experience?
Asian experience?
I mean, you can just drink right from the can. I didn't touch my lips to it.
All right.
Just pretend you're drinking wine.
Yeah, not as bad as I think.
Yeah, it's actually like...
You know what? Steven Seagal, great job. 2 thumbs up. Great. It's the best thing we reviewed about a Seagal thing today.
Yeah.
All right, James, you want to talk about what we're reviewing next month?
All right. Well, the theme for next month is going to be all primate movies. It's the month of Ape-ril.
Ape-ril.
Okay.
Cheers to that.
Become master of your domain and download Hustle Castle via our links below.